think 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
I didn't notice as many today, probably because of the rain maybe.
And then,
Oh, yeah, well, 'cause we live right on water, not.
They're like,
Okay, big house, it's like one of the big houses.
I like
I don't like the
Marvin.
first one, but they park
Marvin.
all along there,
Realize.
most of the time illegally.
Yeah,
But they park there
We talked about it.
and they can non-stop otherwise.
Or they forward park in the short.
After Mike.
Yeah, they're not supposed to do that anymore, right?
Not really.
Have you been to that anymore?
What?
That was about the worst thing in the
So you
world.
were good?
Yes,
That was horrible.
So,
that's okay.
it's been a long.
He said, I don't
Tell the
know.
mayor about it. Huh?
Okay, so I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you everyone for coming. And Sheree, would you start with the roll call, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Major,
Here.
Mr. Fong,
Here on Zoom.
Mr.
Hey.
Feltner,
Here.
Mr. Keller,
Here.
Mr. Phillips,
Here.
I mean, Ms.
I know what you
sorry.
said, Mr. I thought you said-
Mrs. Phillips, he's online, and Mr. Seibert,
Here.
all right. And Ms. Holycross is absent for today. That is the roll for today,
She is.
yes.
All right, so can we approve the minutes from our October 15th meeting? Someone wants to approve the minutes from our October 15th meeting? Or is there,
Second.
all in favor? Okay. Any opposed? No? Okay. All right, so we can go on to the committee reports. I will be happy to report on the Community Relations Advisory Committee and the intergroup relations. So the community relations and intergroup, there's a couple of things that we'd like to forward out to the mayor for approval for the year 2020. These are all whips, or these are all current things that we're working on. So we had come up with in our last meeting that maybe we should look at suggesting a video from the police department that would be used with the driver's training courses. So what I've done as a follow-up is I've reached out to Jenna Powell. She's the legislator for District 80, which is Miami County, and she's going to take a meeting with me to talk about these items. So I would like for anyone else within our commission that would like to join that meeting to also sit down and talk with her about it. I will send out more information this coming week. Second, we had met to try to get on the schedule a second meeting with the police department with Sean so that we could finish going over, the 5 sheets of paper. I think you got through 1. So we would like Sean to finish that discussion with us for this year. And then third on the list, Sonia had stated that we should all take the Citizens Police Academy training, and I'm waiting on information from her to do that. So she will forward all that out to us for us to find time to do it. And then the last item on the list was to meet with the church leaders. So that's a list that John was putting together. So once we get that list from John, we can look at setting a date to meet with them, hopefully December of this year or January of next year. So, and I know that there's lots of things that we wanted to discuss with the church leaders, including voting, including jobs. And so there's tons of things that we would like to bring to their attention to try to engage them into the HRC items that we're covering. So that's all I have for the Community Relations Advisory Committee and intergroup relations. So, Sheree, will you be reporting on education and employment challenges?
Sure, I can just give a brief overview. We don't have the complete report included in the packet today, but the Education and Employment Challenge Committee got together last Wednesday, talked about the initiatives that we wanted to bring forth to the HRC. It's approximately 6 items. At this time, I'm not prepared to present because I wanted to make sure that we have them completed. One of which was a discussion about the church leaders again. So that would kind of combine with what the community relations and intergroup advisory committee discussed. I think that's what we'll present at our next meeting.
Okay.
We'll present that information. Because at that time, it'll be ready for you or ready for the commission to submit to the mayor.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can I just address, I know one thing that was addressed, because I was at both the meetings, I think you were, maybe there were a couple other people who were, but also don't forget that there was some discussion about some advancement of some cultural, having a concert at Treasure Island.
Yes.
And there was some discussion about doing that or looking at some ways to put historical displays, or whether it's through Hanger and some of that. So I didn't mean to step on your toes. That was also part of what was discussed at length at both meetings. So I just wanted to make sure that the record was reflecting that was part of what we were going to advance as agency as well.
And so I think we had discussed a walk and explore for Troy Historical District. So we could put up I think it's called a QR code, so that people could walk and scan it, and then it would kind of bring up information, about that building or about the history of Troy. So I didn't discuss it because I thought it was still a whip. So I thought we were still.
It probably is. I just wanted to just make sure everybody, because not everybody was at both meetings, that's part of what we were looking at too, and having the concert at Treasure Island or someplace.
And so I know the concert that we had talked about, there was either an option for a play, We Hold These Truths, right? I think it was
for self-evident truth or something. The Lois Davies and Louis Seal Lucille Weed.
Yeah, so we're still trying to figure out if we'll go that way with the concert. And I know that someone was going to meet with someone in Troy to discuss options, and then we were going to discuss budgets after that.
And I think Patrick, we've got to get those on the calendar pretty soon, right? For this
we had an internal meeting on concert ideas today. Asked the director, Hobart, arena manager, to reach out to his promoters and give some suggestions. And in the meantime, if HRC members had suggestions, to forward those to Salome, and we can help vet those.
Okay.
Is there a budget in mind?
Nothing specific. They typically fall within a budget range just because of the size of the venue that we're dealing with. And so the promoter and Ken Seiler, the director, they know those parameters. So it could vary a little bit.
We're not, I don't want to speak, but just because I have my conduit between, but you're talking about being part of the city's
Treasure Island concert series over the
right?
summer.
Just so I don't think he's looking at us to fund the concert. I think the city's looking at putting on a concert with some input from us to be sponsored by the HRC or promoted by the HRC, whatever
We would want visibility, we'd want outreach, we'd want this to be an opportunity to kind of promote who the HRC is, get some visibility.
Hence why Lauren is here today.
Yep. Thank you. All right, so we're going to submit some ideas and thoughts to Salome for who we would like to come. Concert there. I think that's an excellent opportunity. Very good opportunity. Anything else? I know that there's one other thing that I didn't mention. We had discussed a discrimination policy for the city of Troy that we would like to present to the city council, to be presented to the mayor. I had asked if you would take one and then send the rest around.
Just one.
It's different. It's been amended. The first 2 pages, if you don't mind. So I've made some amendments to this document, and the amendment that I made was for education, and so I wanted to include students if they go to.
One set.
Yeah. You take 2 and then 4 pages. Thank you. Same page. You can. Is that just 1 page? I'll take it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So essentially what this document is a way for us to review any incidents that we have in our community. So the last meeting, Heather sent it out asking for any updates or revisions. I haven't received any. So if you'd like to take more time to revise it, that's fine. If not, we can submit that to the mayor.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just by way of update, and we'll get the latest one to him. We've asked our law director to look at it,
Yep.
compared to what federal and state law is, where there might be conflicts, what kind of format it might be in. And so he's going to be looking at that, and we're going to be meeting with him tomorrow to see what he's found.
Okay.
So we may have more information for you at the next HRC meeting.
Okay. That works. And any questions about the document? No? All right. So that's all from the committee reports. So I'd like to approve the committee reports. Anyone would like to approve?
I move the committee reports be adopted.
Like that.
We don't have written reports yet, so you could,
sorry?
we don't have written reports, so we don't really have reports to be approved. So you can do it on the committee meetings. Each committee
Okay,
can
all right.
approve the meetings.
All right, so any questions about any items from the 2 committees?
I was to check in with, what was it? Let me find the paper. I went blank. 2 different things. The University of Dayton.
Yes.
I gave some papers to Solomon. Solomon, yeah, for you and so that everyone else could get one. Some of the young ladies that I talked to that said that they would be willing to come and speak to the committee first and then kind of tell them what they do as far as the Board of Education and talking with kids or teachers or just people that are interested in having the talk. So she has all that information. So I told her that you would be getting hold of her about that. Also, the Festival of Nations. I got a call from them, and they are very, very interested. I had a meeting with two of the main people, and we met Saturday, actually, at Winans. Is that Winans, the candy place?
Mhm.
Oh, anyway, we had a nice meeting there, and they gave me all the information about what they do and the different groups of people that they have. They said they would love if we could kind of let the community know, because they know that there are more than what they have as far as where people are from. And if they're interested, and I have another meeting with them, they said they would love to come and speak to the committee at any time. But they're very excited about being involved and getting us involved. That's it.
Thank
That's it. You also have a letter from them, right? That I sent to them and they.
Yes, I do.
replied back, okay. Good. And I have another one here that I just got.
Can I take a scan of that?
I already scanned it. I was planning on to submit this with the committee reports and
Okay.
with the packet, but if I can email all of you before your committees meet.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're finished here. And so next, this is Lauren Karch. Who's going to come up and present for us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
Lauren,
coming.
Lauren, your presentation this
Microphone. And I can really enjoy the sound of my voice when I go to upload this tomorrow. Oh, no, you're good. Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks, Dawn. Yeah, so I'm the communications coordinator for the city. I've been here for about a year, and as far as I know, I am the first communications coordinator that we've had. Previously, kind of our resident outreach stuff fell under the person who used to have Salaman's job, and kind of was a general for city management. So yeah, it's been a goal of the cities for at least the last couple of years to kind of increase the amount of information that we're getting out to residents, and then also, it's a two-way conversation. So I'm really appreciate you guys having me here. Let's see, let's talk real quick about kind of how you can tell my background is in the private industry, because I made lots of pie charts, just, use all the brand colors. So, yeah, so we basically just start with a goal of getting some type of information out to our residents. We have a variety of ways to do that. Next, we kind of look at what would be an appropriate format to use. Some of our stuff, we do a full news release on different events or activities that the city's doing. Some things it's more like a social media or just a quick blurb on the website. And then since that information kind of can come from all around our city departments, I can get quite a bit of input from other city staff, especially, if we're working on something like street repair or electric aggregation that I have no idea how to explain to people. I definitely get a lot of input and expertise, kind of putting that together. And then all of our content, kind of the final word before it goes out is through Patrick and the mayor. And then, yeah, we've got several ways to distribute information, which I will put on the other slide. So kind of the big things that I spend a ton of time on are, of course, our website, our social media channels, doing news releases, trying to connect like regional media, with the city and getting the information out through, WHIO or the Troy paper. But there's also kind of the more traditional ways that our residents interact with us. So there are public meetings like these. There's a lot of community, interaction, be it through events featuring the police department or field trips at the water distribution plant, or everyone calling to ask if trick or treat was canceled today. So there's a lot of kind of touch points between city staff and our residents that way. And then we've also got our utility billing is actually, no one's excited to get their water bill, but it is a mailing that reaches all of our residents every month, which is a pretty nice piece of information that we can do there. And then we also used our partner agencies quite a bit. So there are lots of them. I definitely work quite a bit with like Main Street. We promote their events, they promote our events, with things like the census happening last year. That's the Census Bureau kind of trying to get our input with sharing information on how to fill out the census with our residents, but Mr. Fong helpfully shared a piece on that in the Troy City Schools newsletter. Basically just, I know that not every resident is really excited to check out the city Facebook page every morning. So we try to use partnerships with other agencies that might have a little bit better or different reach than we do, that do other publications, and kind of try to create some mutually beneficial partnerships there. Let's see. So like I said, our website's kind of one of the biggest touch points we have with our residents. We get around 12,000 visits each month to the TroyOhio.gov site. And about half of those come from Troy, so it is not, just junk traffic, it's mostly residents, or, a larger percentage of residents than, I don't know, people from Troy, Michigan who get lost on the way in. And let's see, yeah, so far this year, I just started tracking earlier in the year on Google Analytics. And we think our monthly visits from Troy users are kind of between 4,000 to 6,000 every month, which is, not everyone in our 25,000 resident city, but it is one of our bigger channels for outreach. Let's see, most of those come in from, a majority of them come in from Google, from search engines. But about a quarter go directly to the TroyOhio.gov site. And we also have people who click on the site from social media and come in from other sources like links in the paper, that kind of thing. But Google's definitely our biggest source of traffic. I also included here, which this is kind of small to read, but our top visited pages, the first one's the home page, and then the second one every single month is the downtown webcam. We have a ton of residents that check it out every day. I'm guilty of looking myself to see how traffic is, or whether it's raining. And then utility billing is another obvious one. This I just captured the last month because I thought this was a pretty good snapshot. It kind of changes throughout the year. Not every month will the Diamond Road be a big item to visit, but this month people are taking leaves. I think that civic alerts one might be what day trick or treat is, which again is a hot topic. So yeah, so you can kind of see where we're at. I did notice since we set up your guys' page, I think we're around 300 visits to the HRC page. So that's definitely something we can try to drive more traffic to, but overall, we don't have a lot of sites on our city page that are like super popular either. But overall, the site gets good traffic for the purpose that it serves. Let's see, and then our social media accounts, I just listed the number of our followers for each of those. Facebook is by far our most popular. Our Facebook followers lean quite heavily female. where about 2/3 of our Facebook followers are women. But it goes pretty well across the age range, so that's kind of a nice element there. We also use Nextdoor, which notifies anyone who signed up in the city for any Nextdoor neighborhood within Troy that we posted something. And then Instagram, Twitter, we have less followers, but still keep those updated. And then YouTube is, we're not a hot item on YouTube, but we do post all of our meetings there. So I don't think anyone's like rushing to look at those day of, but if you want to see how a meeting has run, we do get a good amount of views, especially for city council meetings. Let's see. So then I know Salome mentioned that the commission has discussed the social media policy before. So just some of the key points to that. We do have the entire policy and all its wordy glory posted online. But basically our social media content, just like the rest of our content, is subject to approval by the city director and the mayor. It does have to be posted by a designated city employee, which is typically me. But we can't use volunteers or anything for that purpose. Let's see, and then everything we post is subject to the Public Records Act. So if we remove something because someone was cursing at us on Facebook, it is something we have to keep in a digital copy somewhere. But we do try to minimize the comments that are allowed to be shared on our social media platforms. So we have those turned off for everything except for Facebook, which only lets us hide them. And that is because of our policy to use social media platforms only as information sharing platforms and not to allow comments, so as to not create a public forum. I think maybe we touched on that in like another meeting, but that's kind of where a lot of records out with that. So Facebook, since it's kind of the biggest social media platform that we use, and even some months we get more Troy area followers there than on our actual website. We have right around 9,000, well, maybe 700 users that follow the Facebook page. But according to Facebook, about 4,500 of those are actually Troy residents. So right around half. People from other communities follow us, and sometimes if you're using a mobile phone and you're actually in Troy, it'll think you're in Cincinnati, depending on your carrier. So that number might be off a bit, but again, kind of like with the website, about half of the people who follow us on Facebook are actual residents and pay us taxes. So those are definitely the people that we most want to prioritize reaching out to. As well as the community. So let's see, last month we had 30,000 users on Facebook that saw at least one of our Facebook posts, and around 7,700 of those were people in Troy. So, so again, that's not everyone in Troy, but it is a good number, and not necessarily the same people who have visited our website. So then kind of from there, I met with Sally and Mr. Titterington earlier this week to talk about some of the ways that the HRC can use the resources we have. So of course, advertising meetings and events, which is something we already do. But yeah, publishing did you know information on our social media sites. We often share links to partner agencies. I've been sharing a lot from, the Board of Elections, we're trying to get out the information on where you go to vote this week. So if there's, an organization that's of interest to the HRC, we can definitely do that. Again, the utility bills are a surprisingly effective tool. And then just a few other ideas there.
So you're saying like a bill stuffer?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So for the utility bills, are you saying that we should maybe put like a flyer into the bill, something like that?
We looked at that. We actually use, it's a company called Smart Bill that prints our utility bills.
Okay.
They give us, so prepared.
I have only one copy.
Okay. So we have to share. They give us a little message board area on the top of the page, and that that doesn't incur any additional costs. To add a flyer was a few $1,000s per month, so that would maybe be a less cost-effective option, but that is something.
Okay, so he doesn't pay his water bill, so he didn't see.
Well, we live in a township, so. Yeah, we pay everything online, so I never even see a bill.
Why do you have a red stamp right here?
It's because you usually delinquent.
Oh, my gosh. You're like 60 days late.
I know. Hey, is it okay that time that's
Yeah.
a question? Because I just looked this up. So when you do your statistics, I've always wondered how this works. So I just looked it up. We posted, or you posted, the city posted, trick or treat Thursday, October 29th, 6 days. You probably remember putting that out there.
Oh, yeah.
We've had, there's 155 shares.
Yes.
So every time that share gets liked, does that relay back to a statistic for us?
Yeah, so there are actually several metrics that we can see on Facebook. One is shares, but for each post, we can see how many actual people have seen that. So,
Thank you.
frankly, if I share something on my own site, or on my own Facebook page, you'll get just my friends who see it. If someone with several thousand more Facebook friends shares it, then you'll get several thousand more views. But it's actually, that reach number is how many times that post has actually appeared on someone's screen. So that's pretty good.
So it would catch that.
It would catch that, yeah.
Okay, that's what I spent to figure out.
Yeah, so that factors into that 30,000 views in a month kind of
So
thing.
that's why it's really 2 times more outside of the Troy area than inside.
Right,
because you
yeah,
have
a
Troy
lot of people-
or I assume
Yeah.
initially someone from Troy saw it, sent it out to other people,
Yeah,
like when you did the breast cancer one at the courthouse, and that one blew up.
yeah.
I think I saw like 50 people posted, so that's how that works, so
That's
then
how
that's how that statistic.
Yeah,
With
it's,
people.
it's actually the number of people who saw, any of our posts. But we can check that at the post level too, which is kind of fun if we've got like a specific thing that we really want to get out there.
Does it double count, like, when I'm watching a video, like one of the city council meetings?
Yeah.
And if I don't finish it and I'll come back, does it double count or does it count it as?
It may double count if you're on a different device. If you're on the same device, it won't.
Okay.
Is my understanding. To get a definite answer, but.
That's
Keep
true.
watching.
Oh, I do.
We've
I
got
get the
our
notifications on my phone. I'm like,
Yeah. And the other side, I had a couple just videos, these are examples of videos that we made. I'm not.
Which I cannot
any for
turn it
any of
on.
these, But if you need any kind of like short informational video, that's something we do a lot of. I'm not sure the one is, it's because I sent this as a PDF. The one on the left is a very exciting picture of snow removal, with videos explaining how we.
It's not showing up
Or,
on here,
sorry,
but
sorry, storm debris. It's a little bit of video showing how we collect storm debris. And the other one is one for the flood Troy program. So just kind of, both of those are like under a couple minutes and just answering basic questions that we get a lot of. That we've shared on our social media platforms. So we do have some of the video and design software that might be helpful if you're wanting to produce anything along those lines.
so when we're wanting to submit something to you, does it have to be in a certain format?
Not particularly, if it's like something that I post on social media or that kind of thing. If you send it to Sal, maybe we can like look over it and you know, if we need any additional information or graphics or multimedia stuff, we can get back to you.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, I clearly forgot my purpose here. We had come up with a small brochure about about the HRC, just kind of as a starting point. I'm sure there's plenty of piece that I can't remember, but, we do triples for several of our like economic development programs. Some that we do hand out. But
So we need to take a glamour shot.
I was gonna say, do we have to take a picture for that?
we can do it. We can do it however anyone's comfortable.
You don't see my
We can do
facial
multiple
expression under this
pictures.
mask.
We can do all of the fans stuff, always nice. But yeah, or if there's some other kind of photo that might be better. We were kind of struggling on the idea of what sort of photos to include or what kind of visuals, so if
I
anyone's
think it
got,
would be good for us to have a group photo
yeah.
if we would all be okay with that.
If not, if we're not able to do it, I was thinking of, have you seen where you have a picture of hands, like different ones
Yeah,
locking
Yeah.
together? Have you seen this?
I kind of know what you're talking about.
I've seen it.
A circle of interlocking hands.
Yeah, so if we're not able to get together,
Yeah,
that's my
that.
next thing
That's
is
nice.
arm, you know, really
Yeah,
locking
something
hands.
more symbolic like that.
Yeah. Just recommendation. I like the flyer.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Salmon on the photo on the front, so like nothing credit for that.
This is really, I like that. I like it, Salman. Good job.
That's the photo Troy Main Street also uses on their website, so I cannot take credit for.
Yeah.
Oh, you designed it.
But yeah, so we've got
Very
this kind of
nice.
a basic like bullet point of what you do, and then the back flap has other community resources, since I know, you know, working in kind of social services or outreach areas, those are ones that might be relevant. But any other suggestions, I would be happy to hear.
Any other questions?
So, can you explain today?
I think I left out since it's rainy and Halloween.
Was it still on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, trust me.
There's
Got a
about
lot of
two
those
kids out
posts on
there.
Facebook.
No.
It's really not bad.
I saw a few
It's
kids
not
out for
horrible out
sure.
there.
Any other questions?
Yeah, well, and I've got my contact information here, and I also sit directly next to Salome, so if you call her, you can easily transfer a call to me.
Nice. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I got one comment on the brochure as I look at it. If you look at the front of the brochure, that's not a very diverse picture.
Oh, that's true.
The back starts to pick some of that up. I didn't know whether you could center.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the original of that picture, but we could definitely move the, get,
I just feel like that. And that might be true to our demographics, but
That's a great suggestion.
I
no,
think
that's, in general.
the picture ought to be a little bit more diverse.
Yeah, and I'd love to, kind of capture more diversity in our photos from events, so that would be, that'd be great.
Well, even if you're not able to capture the full diversity in one photo, are you able to bring in multiple photos together? I mean,
There's
we
no
wanna
way. I
think
think
about
about a lot of great event photos, but if, especially if, if anyone has another suggestion of
Yeah.
photos that might be useful.
Because when I'm thinking of, because we're here diversity for all, right? So I don't know if we have any pictures of the Japanese school students, right? So I'm thinking of all classes, male, female,
Yeah.
children, older, if we can just show some diversity, even if we
Sure.
can't, if we can't get it in one photo,
Yeah,
maybe we can do a collage type.
sure.
I don't know.
And we've got a little more space too on the inside, with the committee being combined now, that we definitely have a little more room.
And are you the one that does the booklets that come out, It's just one that came out, I think, in, I'm lost now in time, well, over. But I think it came out like in maybe May or June, City of Troy booklet. It
Yep.
tells all the different, activities and it
That
also,
might be,
is that you
I
guys?
don't know, it's not us,
No, I'm
but we have
talking about
a,
it's a
like a
booklet.
community calendar or
Community
something.
booklet, yes.
Is that one
That's not
county?
you guys?
Well, it depends on which one. There's several of them. Probably the one you're thinking of could be from Troy Main Street.
That
The
might be
Visitors
it.
Bureau
I
does
think
a book
that's what,
too.
that had no
I
diversity.
mean, we put,
At all.
Okay.
None.
we put some of the cards out that have the schedules
Yeah,
and then we will share other organizations kind of going back to the
yeah, I
whole
think it might have been me.
partnering.
Yeah, but,
Maybe, I think the Troy Daily, or whatever. it's
no,
called.
it wasn't Troy Daily News.
Okay, because they usually put
But
together a
Miami Valley,
brochure
not Miami Valley.
that they try to give people, because they always try to hit us up to advertise, and then it's like, they give you, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be one of those. There's several. of them
Visitors
out
Bureau
there.
does a book that we put an ad in every year, along with Chamber, I
I don't know
think.
which
and
one
it's
it was, but we get it, it comes like twice a year on that.
Okay,
Whoever it does, it comes twice a year,
yeah,
but it has no diversity.
that is, good. I've been
Anything.
looking for photos here, I'm kind of realizing we could definitely do better, I mean, all of our organizations, with doing photos that are more representative.
What's the young lady's name that comes, with Mrs. Clutch usually? The two of them are usually.
Kathy
Kathy.
Rose, she's the head of the chamber.
Okay, and it's one of the booklets that she works with, along with them.
Okay.
I do know that, because I did mention it to her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
You guys have any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
I'll make sure I do it.
Okay, so schedule of future presenters.
I reached out to businesses. So far I heard back from Hobart Brothers, and I'll have more information this week. They said they may attend the meeting. It could be via Zoom.
Trying to speak.
I don't think so.
He's still
He's on mute.
muted.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. What-
I'll have more information this week. But Hobart Brothers, they might attend the meeting via Zoom, and they'll give me more information on that this week. So I'll just email all of you, and I'll let you know. But I haven't heard from the other two companies I reached out. I reached out to Clope and Conagra, but I'll try to call them or email them this week again. And your next meeting is on November 12th.
Is there a touch with Brian Sexton, or,
I emailed him, yes.
okay, he didn't call you back?
No.
We'll change that.
Yeah, saw him on Tuesday. Should have asked him.
Yeah, it's not like a connection. Okay.
I'm gonna hesitate to ask this, but what's, the following HRC meeting is November,
Thanksgiving week,
it's
right?
Thanksgiving, so you don't wanna do that. But the next, whenever the next HRC meeting, as long as he promises to get through the 4.5 pages that he has left, is that when you wanted to hear from Sean?
I think we have to put him on a time limit.
Yeah.
Good luck for that. but-
Sean likes to talk. Yeah, I think,
The next one would be 10 December. If we do not meet the week of 26th or the week of Thanksgiving.
next meeting.
I will not be here.
I won't be here for Thanksgiving.
No, I don't wanna do, I mean, I don't mind doing that, but we got, you do 10 December, you're not gonna wanna meet the 24th, and you're not gonna wanna meet the 31st, and we've gotta, I mean, we don't have to, but I think when I talked to the mayor, we wanted to get stuff to her by the end of the year, so.
So are you saying backing it up to meet on the 3rd of December and go every other from there? Like the 3rd, the 17th?
Well, if we're gonna skip the 25th, I think we have to go to the 3rd, and then the 17th, we gotta get our stuff out. I would propose that we do that. So you're looking at the 19th, the 3rd, and then the 17th is basically our shutdown and work study to get our things drafted and sent out. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but I do think we have to show that, here's where we are as of the end of this year and where we want to be, and then we can bring other people in and facilitate it and down the road. But I do think that, I think we can't get long in the tooth.
Kind of used to this interaction, but the ordinance says that at the termination of the year, you owe a report. So you really have to get through December 31st before you can submit a report to the council. So I don't think that you're constrained by the 17th. I think if you get it the first week of January or after the first meeting in January, you finalize something to submit, and council has it by the end of the month in January 21. So I think you're okay there. That's not to say, I'm just saying that you could have a productive 17th meeting in December with a presentation if you wanted to as well.
That's fine. So when do you think we should have based on that, when do you think we should have a report to council?
So I don't have the January calendar, but when would I would think if you finalized a report at your first meeting in January,
Which is the 7th.
and then is it the 7th?
It would be the 7th.
Or even looked at a draft and finalized it for the next meeting, whichever, and it was submitted by the end of January, that's perfectly timely.
And we did the 1st and 3rd Mondays, right?
Right now you are. I know that's what you had scheduled through the end of December. Whether you're going to do twice a month in 2021, I think that was left up to be decided.
For council?
Oh, you're talking about council.
Council's 1st and 3rd Monday, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be the 4th and 18th. So if we could meet,
You met the 7th, and you could get it submitted for the either the council work session the next Monday or the council meeting. I don't think the council has to formally, pass a resolution accepting the report. We would just file it with you, or have a report, an oral report if you wanted to.
I think we'll be prepared because
I'll just write mine up next week and send it out to everybody with like line items of who needs to follow up. So I'll have the report finished by Friday of next week for the Community Relations Advisory Committee and intergroup.
Okay.
The education and employment, I won't
Makes sense, yeah.
do that.
what's your worry, Todd?
I'm just trying to put it together. I'm not
Right.
worried. I'm just trying to think if we didn't do anything until the 9th, as a whole, if we skipped the 12th and we just went to the 19th, that gives us plenty of time to get because everyone's going to start to give it to. That gives us everybody time to do. So we're going to go to the 29th and then the 19th in November. Then if you went December 3rd, December 17th, and January 7th, we could have something to the council meeting by the 18th.
Mhm.
Right, or even if you went, because you don't want to go to the 31st, so really the 7th or the 14th, either one would be fine. Because you're not going to have anything ready by the 4th. So really we have to concentrate, I think, if you want to have it by the end of January on the 18th meeting. You're going to get, no one's going to want to do anything from December 21st through January 31st, right? Those 10 days, nobody's going to want to do anything. So if we went December 7th, no, I just lost it.
December 3rd and 17th.
December 3rd and 17th.
Yeah.
And just have one meeting in November on the 19th.
Next meeting is on 12th.
Mhm.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If we missed the 12th, if you skip the 12th,
Okay.
did you already have people lined up?
I was
for
going to say, I think we've
Uh-huh.
already have those lined up for the 12th.
Okay, well, you want to go back, we could go to 12th,
Is that
and not
the-
have
that's
anybody,
the
not,
businesses that you're asking?
Yes,
you have people lined up for the
Everything's
12th?
tentative, though, isn't it?
Hobart
Tentative with,
Brothers.
Hobart.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, I don't care, if you went to 12,
We could reach out to them. and
Yeah,
see if the
I can
19th
ask, yes.
works better.
I can ask.
whichever one, I'm not trying, I'm just trying, you're not gonna wanna do it the 26th, because that's obviously
Sure.
Thanksgiving. And so, and you wanna try to get 2 meetings, I assume we wanna try to, because we wanna hear from Sean at least one more time before we,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So you've got to get the employers in, and you've got to get Sean in, and we have to have a meeting where we divulge all of this and compile all of this and work on, I mean, I think everybody wants to participate in that meeting, right? I mean, I understand we'll solemnly or someone will write it up, but we all want to make sure we're cohesive in that communication. So you really have 3 meetings, and I don't care when you schedule them, solemnly, but I think we have to have 3 meetings between now and January.
It is your
I think we
decision.
have
So
it.
19th, 3rd, and
Yeah.
What do you think,
17th,
the 12th, 19th, 3rd?
19, November 19th, December 3rd, and December 17th.
That works. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, are we saying November
Slightly.
12th and 19th?
No, 19.
Just the 19th?
Yes,
Okay.
we are moving.
Just want to make sure.
Yes.
So November 19th, December 3rd, December 17th.
Well, would you
Correct.
like to check first with the people that you have already reached out to see? what they don't
I will
want?
suggest the 19th, but also maybe December 3rd.
Okay,
If it's,
Gotcha.
if you are not really specific that you want them to come in November for the meeting, we can
Yeah,
also ask
we need them
Sean.
in the night. We need them in
I could,
November.
yes. So I'll ask Hobart Brothers and other 2 businesses, and I'll give them the next 2 meeting dates, and then we'll see what their response will be, what they will work for all of them.
And then Sean can do the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and then he'll just go
Yes.
on whatever date they don't take. Is that okay?
Sure. Yes.
that works.
See what kind of mess you get us into?
Welcome to my world, sure.
All
No,
day,
it's
every
good.
day.
Moving it to the 19th solves that problem. I
Yeah.
think that's good.
Sure. And also, would you consider moving meeting time to 6 o'clock?
Yes, I'm good for 6 o'clock, but was there someone that was not?
I
think
can't
on
go
Mondays.
earlier than 6, but I could go at 6.
6 of those.
6 minutes.
Except for Patrick, he comes at 7.
I'm 24/7, baby.
All right. We hear you.
That works. Any other questions? Any other meeting items? Public comments? John?
You're public today.
No.
You got 3 minutes.
All right, okay, sorry.
I'd just like to share, the University of Dayton and the Dayton Daily News put together a 3-part video series, Roots of Racism in the Dayton area. And I've only watched the first one, but I think it's a resource that we could use, and I thought it'd be cool if we created a video here in Troy, something similar to that. I mean, you could use their first 3, and then you could tie in Troy and the history here at Troy. But I would challenge you to go to the Dayton Daily News Facebook page, and well, I sent it to Marvin.
Yeah,
We can
I'll be
send
sure to
it out.
figure it out.
A video link, but it's really well done because it goes back and picks up the history clear back to the discovery of the Americas, and it lays the history alongside some of the systemic laws that got put in place and how they got put in place. And it's really educational. So I would just,
Who is doing that?
the Dayton Daily News and UD, Dayton University.
Okay, but is it one of the groups from there? They
Yeah,
have like,
I'll tell you real quick.
3.
I don't, I know the mayor participated in it. But I don't know what group, yeah. Just as, learn how the historic laws and policies such as segregation and redlining have shaped Dayton today in order to move forward. It's really coalition of Dayton institutes have come together. It says coalition of Dayton institutions have come together to create a 3-part. I don't know which ones it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Well-
coming from NVRPC, Learn to Earn, and the library, and Premier Health.
That's why she's community.
Yeah.
Dayton Daily News, Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, Learn to Earn, and the Dayton Metro
Oh, yeah,
Library
yeah.
and Premier Health.
You're gonna send that out.
Yes, yes, sir, I will. Thank you for sharing that, John. I'll
Well, it
send
got
that.
shared with me from a meeting I was in last night, but I watched the first one today and it was really well done, I thought.
Well, happy Halloween, everyone. I would like to move to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Oh, I spoke up then.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. So have half an hour.
That's right. We'll get some candy.
We never do.